You may have heard that MrBeast is wrestling with several scandals lately. One of them apparently relates to his friend Chris Ava Tyson, who was allegedly inappropriately interacting with minors on a Discord server. And then there's been some evidence to suggest that MrBeast himself may have also been engaging in the same inappropriate conversations. But then there were other scandals that were recently brought by a guy named Dawson, who apparently is an ex-employee of MrBeast, who started the YouTube channel Dogpack404 just to publish a nearly hour-long expose on MrBeast. In it, he made many allegations, including two fairly big ones. The first is that MrBeast is running illegal lotteries on his channel. And the second is that he and others working for him rigged the competitions in his videos, all for higher engagement. In response, one current MrBeast employee has written to X to try to debunk Dawson's allegations, but those have mostly been responding to the smaller claims, it seems. However, Dawson has also apparently received 2 cease and desist letters from lawyers claiming to represent MrBeast. In these letters, it appears that they're claiming that Dawson is either violating the terms of his non-disclosure agreements or that he's lying and therefore engaging in defamation. Now, although this huge mess involves a number of legal issues, in this video, we are going to focus on what I see as the biggest allegation that Dawson made, which is the illegal lotteries claim. Bottom line up front, I do think that there are some things that need clearing up from Dawson's video, because not all of these situations might be illegal lotteries, and some of the things that he says are not entirely accurate under the law. That said, based on the information available, there are some things here that MrBeast is doing that do appear to be running illegal lotteries, and if that's the case, he has reason to be worried. Let's get into it. Okay, so one thing that I will say before digging in is that, again, I know that there are a number of legal questions here that have come up in connection with these various scandals that came up in the video. And although I'm focusing specifically on the alleged illegal lotteries in this one, there is plenty to talk about regarding the contest rigging claims, as well as the cease and desist letters that Dawson apparently has received. So let me know in the comments down below if you are interested in seeing videos on either of those topics. If there are enough interested people, I'll be happy to put out some videos regarding those issues as well. Okay, so with all of that said, let's first make sure that we're all on the same page about what's going on here. But before we get into that, I have to thank this video sponsor. This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot sponsored a video for us actually a few months ago, and ever since then, I've been using the C7 ergonomic chair in my everyday work in my office. I've now live streamed 2 trials gavel to gavel and spent countless hours watching and recapping a third one, all in this chair. And over that time, I have gotten more pregnant, which means, of course, that I have more troubles in my lower back as it continues to try to manage my growing bump. So I can actually truthfully tell you that this chair has been a godsend over the last couple months, especially. And there have legitimately been times when I can say that this was the most comfortable chair basically in our entire home, really, specifically because of the lumbar support that it provides. It also has all kinds of ways of adjusting the seat cushion and the recliner and the headrest, and my favorite part for helping to prevent swollen feet during especially those long live streams, the footrest. I also love the fact that it is adjustable enough that I can either sit normally like you would in a normal chair, or with my feet up, or I can even sit cross-legged, or some kind of combination in between. And as I've been gradually gaining the weight that I need to for a healthy pregnancy, I don't have to worry about whether this chair can support me, because it supports up to 300 pounds, which is like way more than anything I'm going to be seeing anytime soon. And right now, viewers of this video can get $50 off when you follow the link in the description below and use my exclusive code, also in the description. Also, FlexiSpot is having an anniversary sale of up to 65% off, as well as a chance to win free orders. So if you want those deals, be sure to follow the link in the description below and use my exclusive code to purchase a C7 now. And once again, thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so if you don't know who MrBeast is, you probably spend basically 0 time on YouTube. MrBeast is the world's biggest YouTuber with tens of millions of subscribers across multiple channels. When MrBeast decides to make a change in how he does YouTube videos, it seems like everyone else notices, and it usually sparks a whole new trend of YouTubers following it. His videos usually employ some kind of high stakes challenge, either because he's the main character in the video or because he brings in a group of people, usually to compete for something big. The prizes are typically outrageously large: new cars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, cars, you name it. Basically, his videos epitomize the phrase, go big or go home.
I recreated Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in real life. And one of these 10 people is gonna walk away with this chocolate. I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life. And whichever one of these 456 people survives the longest wins 456 grand. I put 100 people inside of a giant circle. And whoever leaves the circle last wins $500,000. But if you touch the red line, it's game over. I don't care how long this takes, whichever one of you leaves last wins $500,000.
But now, over the years, there have also been attempts by people to call out MrBeast or to criticize him for his videos. Most notable are his charity videos, which have from time to time generated some backlash. But every time it seems that MrBeast has been fairly Teflon-like. Nothing really seems to stick. That is, until now. Introducing Dogpack404, the channel created by a guy named Dawson, who, like I said before, apparently used to work for MrBeast. At least, that's what he says. Like I said, his 52-minute long video came out seeking to expose MrBeast for a number of things. And one of them is this illegal lotteries claim. So what exactly is it that Dawson is saying that MrBeast is doing wrong? Well, there are basically two areas of controversy here. One of them is around MrBeast's promotion of Feastable chocolates. Feastables is MrBeast's chocolate and snack brand. And the other one focuses on MrBeast's promotional live streams, and one particularly where he was selling t-shirts to celebrate reaching 40 million subscribers. But to give really proper context to both of these areas of controversy, let's first talk about what an illegal lottery even is. In the United States, lotteries are only allowed if they are run either by the state or by certain exempt charitable organizations. Sweepstakes, giveaways, skills contests, these are all distinguishable from lotteries, so they're not outlawed in the same way that lotteries are. So how do we tell the difference between a lottery, a sweepstakes, or a skills contest? To do that, we look at three elements. Those are a prize, some element of chance, and consideration to enter. So the first one that we can really distinguish here is the skills contest, because the second element involves chance, whereas a skills contest doesn't involve chance, but really the skills of the participant and seeing how far they can go in the competition. But to look at the difference between a lottery and a sweepstakes promotion, we've got to look at this third element, consideration. So because it's a very important term here for lotteries, let's really go through what that means here. When we talk about consideration, it's a term that every first-year law student learns in their contracts class. The basic or umbrella definition, I guess you could say, for consideration is that it's when you're giving something up to someone else for the benefit of that other party. And it usually turns up in one of two ways. Either someone agrees or offers to do something that they weren't already going to do, or they agree or offer to stop doing something that they were going to do or were in the process of continuing to do. Either one of those involves giving up something that otherwise would be in your own best interests. So let's talk about it in some more concrete terms so that you can understand what I'm talking about. When we talk about consideration, the easiest example to think of is payment of money. When you go buy a cup of coffee from Starbucks, for example, you pay money to the barista and then the store gives you a cup of coffee. Technically, that's a contract, even though it's a very simple one that both sides have given consideration for. The consideration you gave was money and the consideration they gave was a cup of coffee. Now, consideration isn't just money or goods. It can also be services. For example, you could take the employment agreement between Starbucks and the barista. The barista agrees to work in the store for however many hours in a shift, and Starbucks agrees to pay them most likely some kind of an hourly rate. In that situation, the barista's consideration for that agreement is the service of performing duties to make sure that the store functions properly. Now, to expand things a little bit farther, consideration can even be a promise, either to do something or sometimes to not do something. For example, and I have no idea if Starbucks does this with employees, but just assume for a moment that they do. But let's say that in the process of working for Starbucks, the barista has learned some of Starbucks' trade secrets. And then Starbucks decides to lay off the barista because say they're downsizing in a really tough market. And so Starbucks doesn't want the barista going around to, say, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf and spilling all the coffee beans about all their trade secrets. So what they could do is, in order to protect those trade secrets, when Starbucks lets go of the barista, they could offer her extra money and a severance before she leaves and say, hey, in order to get this severance, please sign our non-disclosure agreement where you agree not to share our trade secrets. And so in that situation, we have Starbucks offering the extra money as as their consideration for the non-disclosure agreement. And then we have the barista's consideration as the promise not to disclose those trade secrets. So bringing this back to the definition of lotteries, we have this element of consideration. This element of the definition of lotteries means that in order for something to be properly called a lottery, it has to be that in order for someone to enter the promotion, they make some kind of payment to the person that is running the promotion. Technically, that could be a payment of services, or it could be some kind of a promise like I talked about. But usually when we're talking about lotteries, or specifically illegal lotteries, we're talking about people entering into the lottery with money. And so if you see a promotion where all three of these are present, a prize, some element of chance, and consideration that needs to be paid for someone to participate, then you have a lottery. So when you see promotions for the California lottery or lottery of X state in the United States, generally speaking, yeah, this is a lottery. But if it's not being run by the state or by some specific exempt charitable organization, then that is illegal. So now you might be wondering, well, what about when McDonald's does their Monopoly game promotion, which is some kind of a sweepstakes, right? You buy a burger or an order of fries and you get a game piece in there, and then you get to collect the pieces, and if things match up, you end up winning prizes. So how has McDonald's not gotten into trouble over this? Because when you look at that whole transaction, you have a purchase of menu items that gives the customer access to these game pieces. Then you have a game of chance as to those hidden game pieces and what they reveal after you've bought those menu items. And then you've got prizes on the back end of various sizes. This sounds like a lottery, right? See, that's where the phrase "no purchase necessary" comes in. This phrase, as you might guess, means that the company putting this promotion on is telling the customer that they don't need to make a purchase from them in order to enter into the promotion. And so that's the part that makes what could be a lottery into a sweepstakes promotion, which is in fact totally legal. Now, when a lot of people talk about no purchase necessary, it seems that a lot of people think of it as almost like a magic phrase that the company needs to say or write somewhere in the promotion so that the customer sees it. It's like as if you need to write this phrase somewhere so that the customer sees it, and once you do, that's basically all you need. That's not really the full requirement here. So in order for the promotion to be treated as a sweepstakes as opposed to a lottery, the first thing that they do need is, yes, language in the promotional materials informing the consumer that they don't need to purchase anything in order to participate in the promotion. But note something important here. When I say that the customer doesn't need to purchase anything in order to participate, I'm not saying that there's a guarantee that they don't spend something on their own to participate. What I mean is that the company needs to say that the customer doesn't need to purchase anything from the company in order to participate. So here's how McDonald's and Pepsi and all these other companies that have run these kinds of promotions have gotten around this consideration element in the past. If you look at the fine print on any of these sweepstakes promotions, assuming that they are doing everything legally, of course, there's going to be some language about not just saying that no purchase is necessary, but also giving instructions for how the customer can participate without buying something from the company. This will typically be something along the lines of taking an unused, pre-addressed, pre-stamped envelope, sending it to a specific address the company gives out. Then the company will place a certain number of game pieces or tokens or whatever it is that they are giving out in the promotion that allows the person to participate back into the envelope and have it sent right back to you. So technically, the customer is, hypothetically speaking, spending some kind of resources in order to participate no matter what. They're either buying envelopes and postage or using the envelopes and postage that they already have. And they're technically doing something that they wouldn't already be doing. So you might be wondering, how is that not consideration? Keep in mind, consideration is when you give something up for the benefit of the other party to the agreement. It doesn't benefit McDonald's or Pepsi or whomever if you buy envelopes and postage from Office Depot or the post office or wherever else. It also doesn't benefit them in any real way if you decide to go and jump through those hoops to get a game piece. And so the big distinction here is that even if someone is expending some kind of resources in order to participate, importantly, they're not spending that money or buying those things from the promoter of the promotion. And by the way, there's a reason for why it's actually okay under the sweepstakes rules for someone to end up spending money to go the no purchase route. It's because the whole purpose of these rules is to prevent lottery scams, which historically have been a pretty bad problem in the US. So if the company is providing this other route where they don't receive any benefit themselves from the customer in order to enter the promotion, it shows that they're not using this promotion as a strict money-making scheme where they're more likely to fraudulently take people's money with empty promises. So having this option for people to participate in the promotion in this way, and then making that option apparent to people in the advertising of the promotion, that's the important distinction between lotteries and sweepstakes. And by the way, you might be thinking, who in the world is going to go through all that effort when all you need to do is buy an order of fries? Well, that's what the companies running these sweepstakes figure, is that most people are probably going to look at those two options and be like, I'll just buy the fries. And that's because there's no requirement to make the non-purchasing route super easy. Now, if they make participation without payment or purchase basically impossible with that secondary route, there's a good argument that we're back in lottery territory. But again, they also don't need to make it super easy. In fact, the ideal for these companies is that they probably hit the sweet spot where it's not too hard for people to go the non-purchasing route, that some court then at some point in some lawsuit says, you're making this too difficult for anyone to realistically participate without purchasing, but where it's just onerous enough for anyone to see those steps and decide, I'll take the fries. Okay, so now that you're familiar with lotteries and how they're different from sweepstakes, let's talk about Dawson's claims here. Remember, we've got the Feastables claim, and then we've got the 40 million subscribers, t-shirts, live streams claims. So let's talk first about Feastables. As I mentioned, Dawson claims that MrBeast is running illegal lotteries with Feastables chocolates. If you're not familiar, Feastables is MrBeast's chocolate and snack brand, which he announced in 2022. Initially, he marketed it as a healthy alternative to other popular chocolate bars on the market.
I wanted to just make a better for you snack brand because I think a lot of the stuff out there is just terrible for you.
Because obviously so much obesity and disease comes from the stuff we eat. Like Hershey's, for example, there's 10 ingredients, super processed. Our Feastables bars are 5 ingredients, and just all the ingredients are way higher quality, and it's infinitely better.
However, when reviews of the chocolate bars started to reveal that the taste was apparently often lacking, they changed the ingredients, apparently making them actually supposedly worse for you than, say, Hershey chocolate bars. In addition, and I don't know if this was actually in any way connected to the change in ingredients or if this was always part of the promotional plan, MrBeast has also run a number of promotions to sell his Feastable chocolate bars as well. And so in Dawson's video, he points to the promotion where MrBeast was selling Feastables with Willy Wonka-esque tickets hidden in the wrapping. These tickets apparently served as an entrance to a competition in a MrBeast video. Then there was also another promotion where MrBeast was advertising that they were giving away $10,000 a day to people who bought Feastables chocolate bars.
For 30 days straight, we are going to be giving away $10,000 to a lucky customer who scans the QR code on the back of any new Feastable bar.
So, looking at the definition of lotteries, you have people buying chocolate, that's consideration. Then you have the prize of entering a MrBeast video and having the opportunity of winning prize money on top of that. Or in the second promotion, the prize of winning $10,000. And you have the element of chance. You don't know if the Feastables bar you bought will have a winning ticket or the winning barcode until after the purchase and you open it up. That would check off all of the boxes for a lottery. However, we still have to look to see if there is a no purchase necessary language in the promotional materials and in the labeling for the bar if it advertises the possibility of having a winning ticket. And of course, we have to know if that language actually gives those instructions for people to participate without buying something from MrBeast. And I haven't seen any of those Feastables bars up close, nor have I seen any of the promotional materials up close either. However, Dawson does allege that none of the promotional videos or other advertising materials have anything resembling the required no purchase necessary language.
I believe all the Feastables giveaways do have official rules and no purchase necessary clauses somewhere, but it's very difficult to find them. In traditional media, if you advertise a sweepstakes like in a commercial, you have to say in the promotional material itself, no purchase necessary. Somehow MrBeast gets away with not saying no purchase necessary in any of his promotional materials, not the videos, the descriptions, pinned comments, nothing.
To celebrate our launch of milk chocolate and sea salt, we went out and we bought 10 Teslas, loads of cash, and all these prizes you see on the screen. And prizes aside, unlike Hershey's, these bars only have 4 to 5 ingredients and just genuinely taste good. go to Feastables.com right now and order some chocolate. Only problem is the chocolate river is deteriorating. All the
If that's the case, then yeah, MrBeast could get into trouble over the Feastables promotions, particularly for those advertisements in those videos and other promotional materials where that information is lacking. At the same time, though, Dawson does show in his video that on MrBeast's website, which is one place where they sell Feastables, it does have fine print that says no purchase necessary and gives those kind of instructions. And it shows that these instructions do show how to participate without making some kind of purchase from MrBeast.
The only place you'll find no purchase necessary is either on the Feastables Twitter account because it's a rule of the platform, and even still they try to push it. No perch neck, or hidden deep in the Feastables website under a FAQ. And to enter for free, you have to mail in separate 3" by 5" hand-addressed written index cards, up to 10 a day. Do you think kids are gonna do that shit or just beg their parents when they're at Walmart for the YouTuber diabetes lottery ticket? How is this legal? How do you mail something without making a purchase? Cards, envelopes, stamps. The free entry method can cost more than the chocolate bar itself.
I will say the no perch neck part of the tweet that Dawson shows looks a little questionable, but it is paired with a link to the rules for the sweepstakes, which presumably includes the full language required for the non-purchasing route to participate. Now, Dawson does make an argument that the language on the website isn't sufficient because it's fine print. I will say that doesn't matter, so long as it's legible and customers can nonetheless find it somewhat easily. And now addressing Dawson's point about how someone might end up spending more on things like envelopes and index cards, as if to say, this isn't real, no purchase necessary language. I will say he's actually wrong on that. Like I said before, the requirement for a sweepstakes promotion is that there needs to be a route for someone to participate without making some kind of a purchase from or payment to the company that's running the promotion. If they end up spending money elsewhere in order to go that route, that doesn't really matter here because they're still operating within the sweepstakes requirements. So assuming that this language that's on the website is also on other promotional materials and on the labeling, if that labeling advertises the same promotion, the Feastables promotion is actually legally fine as far as I can tell. However, if what Dawson is saying is correct about these videos that advertise the promotion and them not having the required no purchase necessary language, MrBeast might be running into some issues there. Okay, so now let's turn to the live streams, and specifically the one that Dawson highlights in his video where MrBeast is doing a t-shirt promotion to celebrate 40 million subscribers. This is where MrBeast, I think, might run into some significant trouble. Here's where Dawson describes these live streams in particular.
On August 2nd, 2020, MrBeast live streamed him and his friends signing limited edition shirts celebrating 40 million subscribers. And here are just some of the clips from that stream.
For those of you who are just joining, if you buy one of our limited edition 40 mil special shirts, we're celebrating 40 million subscribers with a really big video, then we will sign that shirt and some of them will get random prizes like this. In 10 minutes, right, because we gotta give them time to do their cart, we'll give 2 orders $500 each. 5 minutes, someone's getting $3 grand in their order. In 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna put $1,000 in a random order. 2 minutes, newest order gets $2,000. Good luck, everybody.
So this was a 6-hour live stream. They took it down off YouTube, but 5 hours of it are still up on their Facebook page. And during those 5 hours, I counted 46 illegal lotteries. These lotteries are also run poorly. Multiple times they would say something like, buy in the next 5 minutes for a chance to win. And then 7 minutes later go, actually, the newest order in 30 seconds is gonna win.
In 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna put $1,000 in a random order. Hey, Daryl, don't we owe someone $1,000?
We do.
Yeah, so, all right, so the newest order, in 30 seconds, we are gonna put $1,000 in your package.
Stephen K.
Okay?
Stephen King.
And there is no second giveaway 30 seconds later, like Jimmy said. This is just one very shady giveaway. They just go on to talk about how Steven made a profit.
Steven's a handsome name. So he actually walked away with some money.
We're proud of you, Steven.
I counted 13 of these extra shady lotteries where they did not give the prize in the original time frame that they said.
Okay, so we're gonna put 2 iPhones in this piñata and we're gonna give it to someone who orders a shirt in 3 minutes? 5 minutes. Buy a limited edition shirt or hoodie, and we're gonna pick a random one in 10 minutes and give them $2,000.
Have we done iPhones yet?
Oh,
We did one.
oh wait, hey Daryl, first action, before we do that, we never picked a pinata.
So these clearly fit the definition of an illegal lottery. These clips are also not out of context. No one ever said no purchase necessary. There's nothing in the description or on the website. At one point, MrBeast is informed that they ran out of PlayStations, and he says, "Are we trying to not sell merch?"
Our city is sold out of PlayStations. We don't have any. We have to give away. Are we trying to not sell merch?
So he clearly knows that they're making more money by running these illegal lotteries. Another shady thing he did was constantly suggest that they're doing too many giveaways to make a profit.
My guy over there doing the numbers is like, stop! Please. It's like, you do realize every time you give away an Xbox and $1,000, you don't make money. I'm like, oh, I know we're not gonna make money. What are we doing, guys? We're gonna check after the stream and it's gonna be like,
oh no,
What a waste.
yeah, I know. We're gonna break neutral.
When there was just no way they were ever even close to losing money on this stream.
I don't know who this is, but you just got a pair of AirPods. Oh my gosh, we're not making money. Guys, we need to stop giving everyone something.
We've just lost like 7
almost everything that someone's bought, we put something in their package. I'm not gonna make money.
In 5 hours, they gave away about $50,000 worth of stuff and sold over 50,000 t-shirts. Selling these t-shirts at $42 each, profit margin would be about $22. But even if they were making like $1 per shirt, they would still be fine. Also, by my estimates, only 1 in every 1,600 orders actually won a prize. And I guarantee he has real-time analytics on his laptop. He knows they make more money every time he says, "Oh my God, guys, we're giving away so much stuff. We're not even gonna make a profit. Please, don't you want me to make a profit?" That's why he keeps saying it.
Now, this runs into the same issues that the Feastables chocolate promotions ran into in their promotional videos, which we highlighted earlier from Dawson's video. Except here, it doesn't appear that there's language really anywhere, like not even on a website, for example, that fits the no purchase necessary language, which gives a path to participating without giving MrBeast something of value. And again, to revisit, in order for it to be a lottery, it needs to be all 3 elements: a prize, chance, and consideration. And here it does look like we have all 3 without a path for someone to enter the giveaway without paying MrBeast something. So unless there is some crucial information here about some no purchase necessary language that actually does appear somewhere that I don't know about based on watching this video, this fits the definition of an illegal lottery in my opinion. And so here's why MrBeast actually could see some significant trouble over this whole thing. You see, the FTC does regularly enforce the rules about illegal lotteries, especially where they can find an angle involving fraud. If you just go to the FTC website, you can see a ton of press releases over big money cases that they've won in recent years, where they've gone after people for running illegal lotteries to swindle people. And yet these are cases that are worth tons of money, tens of millions of dollars in a lot of cases, but yet we don't really ever hear about them unless you like to follow the actions of the FTC closely, which admittedly is probably a pretty rare trait that some people might have. But when you think about the fact that we're talking about the world's biggest YouTuber who has tens of millions of subscribers across his channels, and who is on record as knowing that his audience is primarily young children. And considering how there apparently have been cases where people have not received the items that they supposedly won in these giveaways.
Okay, now as far as fake giveaways go, I'm sort of limited in what I can say without exposing confidential information and getting sued. So my official statement is that sometimes things slip through the cracks, and personally, I believe that is intentional. Here's one example where someone on Reddit posted saying that they were promised free dog food for life in exchange for letting MrBeast use them in a video. 5 months later, they still haven't received their dog food. I actually sent this post to someone who works at MrBeast, and they said they were gonna send it to the PR team, and then the Reddit post got taken down. So I don't know if it got resolved.
All of that together means that this could catch the attention of the FTC. And keep in mind, too, that the fact that all of this is being revealed in a YouTube video, that doesn't make anything less threatening to MrBeast, especially since this controversy has seemingly only grown bigger with time, not smaller. So I understand why MrBeast might be worried. I understand why, for example, those t-shirt promotion live streams that Dawson referenced, which he said were still up on Facebook, have reportedly been taken down now since the release of Dawson's video. However, at this point, sending sending Dawson multiple cease and desist letters from 2 different law firms might not be the best move, both in the court of public opinion or in any attempts to quell the conversation around Dawson's video and prevent this whole thing from getting more attention than it's already receiving. In other words, the cat's out of the bag at this point, and anything that MrBeast does right now will arguably only make that worse, and, you know, the whole Streisand effect thing could come into play. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you think that anything is likely to come of this? Or do you think that this is all just big drama and it'll eventually blow over? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this or at least found it interesting or informative. And if you did, I would love it if you could hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you're new here and you want to see more coverage of crazy cases and interesting legal topics, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can find out when the next video is out. And if you're really loving the content and you want to know how to best support the channel and get perks like early access to videos like this one, consider becoming a member of Bike Club. You can join either through YouTube memberships or by becoming a supporter on Patreon. Links to both are in the description below. Otherwise, see you in the next one.